now that people that come to me, I'm very highly empathic right now in my life. So I'm reading body language. I even train in the Marines to interrogate. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things in my life that I've done that I think have added and accentuated to my skill. But at this time with the spirit, I am reading people so well that it's hard to be around some people. And I notice people either really love me and want to be around me and learn knowledge from me and heal from me, or they hate me, can't stand me, or they're walking clearly away from me to stay away. Mm-hmm. So I'm reading everything. I mean, I'm reading some of their thoughts, and that was a hard thing for me. I've come to the realization that I am very telepathic in this past couple months, because for a lot of years, I would pick up on a lot of people's negative frequency, and I think someone was, talking bad about me, and you'd hear almost like little murmurs underneath their breath. And all my family and friends all the time, they're not saying anything. This last couple of months, as I've really, really woken up, I'm noticing that they're not saying it. I'm hearing what they're thinking. So it's kind of like a radio station. You tune into a certain frequency and you're able to hear what these people's thoughts are. But now it's on another level for me where it's not, the negativity just does not matter to me no more. Right. The only purpose I have is to unite all of us as one, as a soul family. It's about positivity, and the frequency's been raised. The Schumann resonance is up. The frequency has been raised. The veil is dropping. And those that are raising their frequency and the vibration are attaining all their true skills. And that's what's happening right now. It's the Kali Yuga, the golden age. People, it's happening. So, and then there's a lot of people out there that are probably experiencing it. My ears were ringing so bad this last 3 or 4 months that it would be almost unbearable. And now they're high-pitched sounds. I'm getting digital frequencies, right. And I'll get them when I channel in and I can hear voices. It's the same way when I see someone, I'll get a frequency on them, and they're either drawn to me or not. If they're real negative, I can feel they have negative intentions. I will literally project and just ask them to leave, and they'll do it. They'll just turn around and walk away, because that's not someone I know I should deal with. Send them with love and light, but the toxicity can't be around me at this time. So
let's talk about your spiritual journey. Do you believe it happened with your NDE and your OBE, out-of-body experience? Do you think it happened then, or do we need to fast forward a little bit until other events?
I get that. I think it's always been there. It just heightened it. After I did have that near-death experience, I started experiencing a lot of dreams and visions, which I have family that can attest to. Another ability that I've had, that this is something I haven't told. I mean, I'm telling you guys a lot. I've talked to Jamie more than anyone else I ever have. My mother and other people know this is true. I've lost marriages because of it, but for lack of a better word, I had visions of the future that have come to pass. That started happening a lot when I was younger. And unfortunately, I hate saying it, I don't condone drugs or do drugs anymore, but I had other out-of-body experiences before when I got really sick and was, unfortunately, at the time on angel dust. And I actually had a out-of-body experience where I could see not only myself, but everybody around me. And, some of those drugs, they really just accentuate abilities that you have. And that's another story. There's a lot of other depth I can go into that, where I realized I was more telepathic in people's minds during that time as well. I mean, it kind of became a party favor a couple times, but
tell us about, you brought something up, and I'd like to hear about, if you can think of an example, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. Think of something that you, do you remember seeing a vision of something that was going to come to pass? When you were young, you said, or even now, that that you saw a vision and you're like, it was more than deja vu. It was like, this is what I saw.
Yeah. The towers, 9/11, the state of America now, because when we were younger, we're in a different country. It's almost could be a parallel reality compared to what we grew up in. I saw a lot of that a long time ago. And as I got older, I got into researching, Nostradamus, and those things really resonated with me because I had a lot of visions like that. And the shootings that are going on now, the level of violence. I mean, if you've ever seen Clockwork Orange, where they set him in front of the TV and they open his eyes up and they have all the news flashes, that's how it was for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just basically these times now is what I've seen. And there's some other things I've saw that have necessarily not happened, but in a metaphysical way, spiritually, they kind of have, like all the states breaking up. I saw, but in a way, we really have broken up. We're not really. We say United States of America, but really, how united are we? I mean, so I really think I saw a lot of the states breaking up, a lot of riots, confusion, war, really what you see now, and some technology too, because back then we didn't have drones and such like that, and I saw a lot of that as well. So, which was hard because we grew up in you're very proud to be American,
yeah,
and it's hard to see some of the truths as you get older. So, especially during these times.
We just had a question from a listener. Dennis asks a question on online. He said, when you experience the precognition, when it starts, is it and how you dream? Is it in a sleep state, or do you go into a trance? I think this is what he's asking.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, is it a sleep state? Do you go into a trance? When does it happen?
Yeah, what I've learned now, because I'm more in touch. Before, it just kind of happened when I was younger, and I really didn't know what was going on. Now I really have a full grasp on it, and I really do go into a trance. It's almost an in-between state. I'd say maybe your alpha state, if you will, where I will put on meditation music and pray and meditate and be right in that state of consciousness between almost being asleep and not being asleep. And in fact, I've experienced a lot lately as I'm waking up. As you're starting to wake up, your consciousness is shifting from that 5D, 4D to the 3D back when you're coming back into your body. And I've been receiving a lot lately on that. And yes, that's what it is. It's a trance state and and almost sleep state. So to answer that as directly as possible.
No, that's good. So let's talk about. Well, that's a good follow-up, and then we'll talk about kind of where you are at this point. And I really kind of want to bring up of how you and Jamie met too, because that's important. How you got to this point, to this show. How old were you when you first found out or had these visions and these precognition moments? Were you really, really young? Was it after the accident?
Yeah, I mean, I've been having them since I was really young, and before the accident. And I tell my mom, and me and her have always been really close. And my Nana, we call her Nana, my grandma, my great grandma, my Nana, and great Nana, they were from Sicily, and they came over during World War II. And I guess my great Nana was one of, like, people would come to talk to her, and she had visions and like that. So they always used to say, "Oh, it runs in the family. It runs in the family." And my mom knew, she's known for a long time. I will know when something's going to happen. I do it all the time. I'll reach out to someone and I'll say things, and they're saying, "Hey, this is going on. I knew you contacted me." So it's that premonition. It's that quick vision. It's that following the intuition. And I've been having those dreams and visions like that, precognition, if you will, since I was very young.
Inherited.
But it's not something I ever talked about till now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's talk about into adulthood. How did you carry that forward into adulthood? And can you speak to how, because it seems like it progressed as you got older. Yeah. So let's talk about that as much as you can.
Yeah. I guess we'll start off when I got out of the Marine Corps real quick. I'll make it short. I burned through 2 marriages and I really kept everything inside. And when I would tell anyone, it was my wife at the time, my first wife. And the reaction out of people is, "You're crazy. You're crazy." So I bottled it up and basically didn't talk about it for quite a long time. I mean, I've had things happen that would blow your mind. There's a couple things I've never told people. I mean, we're talking about feeling sick spiritually what I learned is when you try to control those abilities, things get worse. I got to the point with my first wife, things got so bad that there was so much spiritual negativity on me. I felt sick, and these people did not want me around, did not like me. That was the situation I was in. I literally had, and this is kind of crazy, bees fly out of my mouth. And I thought I was going to get sick, went to throw up, and I had bees come out of my mouth. And to live a life where you have things like that happen, it was really hard and confusing for me, you know. And then one time I was watching a horror movie or something, and I saw that. So it's hard to relate. You keep it to yourself. Some other thing I've seen, a child one time got pulled up in a car next to me, and looked over at me, and he gave me the finger, and his eyes rolled black.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, it's hard to tell people, hey, this is what I see. And so, you know, I basically told my first wife, you're crazy, don't talk about it. Never told my second wife, never really told anybody for quite a long time. There was times when I was younger, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was a rape DJ for a while. And like I said, I'm a transparent person. And back then, everyone was doing ecstasy. And basically, MDMA, for a highly empathic person, makes you telepathic. So I became almost a party favor at times where I could read people's minds. And especially if the intent was to me, with, you know, females or anyone at the time that liked me, it was like I could go around the room and read everyone's mind. And I did it multiple times from, you know, the Bay Area to Reno and Las Vegas where I live. So I always knew there was something there. My mom said my dad, he's always been kind of metaphysical, kind of type of guy that would bend the spoon at the party in the 70s. You know what I mean by looking at it. So there's a couple things that run in my family, but I held it and didn't really talk about it. But it's gotten to the point where it's accelerated so much. And meeting Jamie, he's validated so many things and given me the opportunity to speak to him. And people don't understand the power of being able to hear your own words to someone. When you hear your own truth and you know it's true and it resonates with you. I've had so many people my whole life tell me that I was crazy and they didn't want to hear it. So when you finally get to speak it and you feel it and you know it's true, you know, it kind of goes from there. And I've been healing and helping a lot of people that have been going through the same thing. So there's other people out there that are going through the same thing.
So real quick here, as we get into the 15-minute mark, Jamie, are you still here?
No, I am here, yes.
Jamie, real quick, because this is fascinating. And
yes, it is.
We don't have to have a hard stop at the top of the hour. What we can do is we can continue going. I just have a feeling we're going to get to a point where we're just not going to want to just end it and have that be the end of the show. So on Spreaker, it doesn't matter. We can continue going. I can talk to Barry, our WBR boss, and see if we can break it up and send it to him later. And I can do that through Audacity. Jamie, are you good to go past the top of the hour?
Absolutely.
And Mike, are you okay to stay for a little bit afterwards?
I'm good to go.
Okay.
The only thing I might have to do is just text my wife if she walks through the door so she knows I'm still on.
Okay, no worries.
I'm good to go, man.
All right, and because I just have a feeling that we're going to get, you know, we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet.
And
so
we're doing a fast forward version. Like I said before when we did the pre-show, I've had visions of being on a show and taking questions. I've had people hitting me up on social media. My Facebook was so overwhelming after 8,000 or so plus friends maxed out multiple times, death threats to everything else. I shut it down, and Instagram is blowing up. I mean, it's real, and the awakening is happening. And there's people out there that don't want to talk about it because they don't want to be ridiculed, because it goes against what the hardcore religious dogma speaks on. So, and just because they're afraid, you know, people feeling like they're crazy. So yeah, it's real and it's happening.
So we're going to keep going after, we're going to make this an extra longer show than normal. We'll get it figured out with WBR. We're going to definitely extend this out. So Definitely. And so what we're going to do, Dennis is my friend Dennis, who is online right now, is